It's the NFL on EA Sports as we are in the inner. Time ago, the Ravens introduced to this sellout crowd, and through a sea of pyrotechnics, out they came from the tunnel. We're set to go as the Ravens get ready to match up with Jameis Winston and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback.
Ready?
On 1st and 10, Winston. Evans has it left side. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line.
One thing we do know, he's going to get his catches. So as they move forward defensively, got to continue to focus on not giving up the big play when he does catch the ball in the secondary.
They'll run here with Barber. And not much there. Maybe a yard up to the 24.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. What that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
And they're going to get him down well short of the first as he can only get this to the 30. That'll be good for 6, but now it's 4th down. So opening drive, 3 straight runs, unable to pick up the first.
I know the fans want to see first downs, but guess what? The coaches have reasons for what they're doing. Sometimes they've scripted it, and some of these runs, while they haven't been successful now, they may be successful later on.
Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll run for the first time with Mark Ingram. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Steps away to his left. Looking left side, he's got it. Complete. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
This is Ingram on 1st and 10. He's got the first down and more past midfield. A big run there, 29 yards and a first. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
And he's going to get this one down to the 30. Levante David in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
And this is caught at the 8. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down. Well, they're piecing together a nice drive to start this one. Seems pretty scripted and pretty successful so far.
And I think they did it without our help. Because you remember when we sat in the production meeting with them to talk about this, and hey, you know, how are you guys going to come out of the gate? I know I offered.
And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Hollywood, Marquise Brown there to make the grab. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 25-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession.
And on the first drive, 3 and out. I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
After 7-0 on EA Sports. Second quarter now, and it's Buccaneer football as they've got it with a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Andre Ellington, his first carry. And he'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32.
So many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens' 40.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he was able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
First down, Winston. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. So 2nd down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Here's Ellington. And an alley to run. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for 3rd down.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
They go back to the ground, this time Barber. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. 15 yards as Tampa Bay picks up the first.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive they went 3 and out.
First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got a 1st and 10 at the 15. Sliding out of the pocket. This is caught. And out of bounds all the way down at the 3. Back-to-back nice plays. 12 yards that time and a 1st down.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he was able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a 1st down.
Ready? You ready? Mike 40, Mike 40. Let's go, D. Big series. Come on. Follow. Let's go.
Jameis to throw it. And Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. A 3-yard touchdown pass as they are now on the board here in the first half.
We see this route all the time, but when it's well executed, it's a beauty.
And it feels like the fade takes forever to develop, like that ball is just hanging in the air.
And the reason why is that the receiver is trying his best to work the defender inside and give himself space to fade away from him and catch the football, and that's exactly what happened there.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. This one taken just inside the 10. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. And that last drive was very, very balanced, pretty methodical. You think they go that route again?
I'm always of the school that until they stop me from doing something, I'm going to continue. And I think that that's exactly what they'll look to do. But the beauty is the balance that they've created sets up opportunities for big plays. Looks like a run, turn into a play action, and throw one deep.
Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? second quarter, 2 minutes to go. Tie ball game. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. Mark Ingram, 37 yards, and the Ravens have taken the lead.
Well, partner, that was another explosive run, and one thing I've learned in our time in this game, yes, the offensive line has to get a lot of credit, but for big runs to occur, the wide receivers have to block well downfield.
And then you have to have a good guy carrying the ball too, right?
Oh, without a doubt. You need that difference maker lugging the rock.
Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They trail a one-score deficit, 14-7, as they come up 1st and 10. Being chased out left. And the Raven pressure too much. Down he goes. Michael Pierce, in all of his 340-pound glory, gets the sack. Well, you don't usually get a sack from a nose tackle spot, but we got one there.
No, we don't, and a lot of the times in passing situations, they end up off the field anyway. So how happy was he to work his way back to the quarterback and put him on the ground? He's going to end up with a nickname after something like that, some Big Jelly or something like that.
Give him 14 on that one and a first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Working out of the gun, Winston. Throw right side, taken in by Godwin. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. Here's Winston. Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Chris Wormley. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. From the gun, Winston. Forced out to his left. Oh, he'll try and throw it deep to the other side of the field. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And you got to think, if this is anything other than just taking a knee, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah, they've got enough to talk about at the half. Why do anything else? Just get out of there.
And this offense going to elect to burn a timeout with 5 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run. So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A 1-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done they're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. The handoff out of the pistol. It's Dixon. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. In on the stop, Vernon Hargraves. You don't see that a ton, do you? A cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball is moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
He winds up getting only a couple there, down to the 29.
Well, praise has to go to the guys on the offensive line because they've had a very nice, productive day running the football. How about that poor defensive line? They've been knocked around the entire game, and while they slowed them down on that run, can they continue to do so? Because they haven't had much success throughout this ball game.
His throw caught at about the 5. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Miles Boykin. 29 yards as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now 21-7. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This will be taken very short. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it out past the 35.
At their own 37-yard line.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And their halftime hole now even deeper. And they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger. But no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing. And try and get back to where you were to start the half.
So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10.
40's mine. Let's go. Easy. Check. 40's mine. 40's mine. 40's mine. Let's go.
From the shotgun, it's Winston. And that is intercepted. Or was it? Wait, they'll say no. No interception. He did not keep the feet in bounds, apparently. So that's just going to be an incompletion. So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. To throw is Winston. Buying time to his left. And he's able to get it to the edge of the red zone at the 20-yard line. He turned that into a nice gain, gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. Winston on 3rd and 2. He'll buy some time right. And he's got a man. It's the tight end Howard complete. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, partner, when you ask anyone other than your QB to throw the ball, you must have a lot of confidence or you think you're really going to fake them out, and it looks like they did exactly that.
Yeah, going deep in the playbook and a great grab on the other end. And now a throw on 1st down there, but it's incomplete.
Yeah, that one sailed on him. You've got to make sure you give your receiver a chance to come down inbounds because they are very gifted. They'll make the circus catches, but they make them out of bounds. That does you no good.
They come up here with another shot from the 6-yard line, and it's 2nd and goal now. On 2nd down, Barber. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Buccaneers. A 6-yard touchdown run as his guys are back within a single score.
I know we don't talk about it enough, but the intelligence level of the guys up front blocking, the offensive linemen, maybe the smartest guys in football overall. Add in a little bit of athleticism and a whole lot of toughness, you've got a lot to deal with, don't you?
That's why the guys in the backfield get them really nice Christmas gifts, right?
If they're smart, they do.
And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away. This one taken just inside the 10. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line.
First and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. They were able to extend their lead with an opening drive touchdown here in the third quarter, but that just got matched a moment ago.
So we know that what they discussed at the half worked. Now, what are the counters to that, right? You don't just run the same things over and over. Some do, but many will also show something and then come back with something else to keep the defense off balance.
Second and 7 at the 38-yard line.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Jackson. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. Carl Nassib coming in hard there on the blitz, and he gets him 7 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
Third down. That's the end of the
Back now in Baltimore. It's the Ravens in control of the football. They've also got the lead as we get set for the fourth. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. And he'll lay out and pull it in. What a diving catch there. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down.
And the key number on that play, 3. Third play of the drive, 3rd down, spectacular catch, turns into a first down.
First down saves him from a 3-and-out. Jackson and the offense come up 1st and 10, and he's a perfect 6 for 6 here to start the ball game. Completes it to Dixon.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On 2nd down, it's Ingram. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. Give him 14 on that one and a first down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Throwing now, Jackson on first down. Throwing middle, but it's incomplete.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the #1 thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
No. Off. Say it. It's a 6. Pull it. Half. Hey, check 24. Watch 24. Hey, check Mike 45. Check Mike 45.
On 2nd down, Ingram. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. Now, the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Here we go, 3rd and 1. Gut check time on both sides. Throwing is Jackson. Flushed out right. Outright, this is Boyle, the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there. And they keep those sticks moving forward, that time with a gain of 3. And not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. It's a give to the right, Ingram. And for one of the first times all night, he is going to go nowhere as they bury him behind the line. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Keep playing hard, fellas, all day. Woo! Let's get it.
So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
Partner, I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. He did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
Check Mike
third and short. It's Dixon. Able to slither by. They get 5, and it will go ahead and move the chains.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Here we go.
Again, they'll run with Ingram. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And now the question everyone's wondering, look at the clock, late fourth quarter, do they put the ball in the air here on third?
I don't. I run the football, and I tell my offensive line, no leakage up front. I don't want my running back hit as I hand the ball off to him. I don't want any type of an issue. But if I am going to throw it, quick throw, out to the perimeter, maybe one of my best receivers running a quick slant or something like that.
He opted to go with a scramble, gets 2 yards, and now it's 4th.
I like his thought process and his ability to move and get downfield. But what I didn't like was the final decision, to go out of bounds. They want to keep the clock moving. Instead, they give the defense an extra timeout.
A big one there. That gives them a little cushion and makes it a 2-score game.
Yeah, bled a little time off the clock, put some points on the board. It's not totally out of reach yet, but it has to feel pretty good to them right now because as a defender, you go out on the field and say, guess what? You can put some points on the board, but that won't beat us.
And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what do we...
It got his man complete. The 20, 10, touchdown, Tampa Bay. O.J. Howard, 75 yards. As they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Extra point by Gay is up and good. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. So they got their touchdown, now down a field goal. Here comes the onside kick. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. Well, fourth quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number, kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. And they'll indeed take a knee. So here we go, Charles, third down. Any chance you're throwing?
I don't think so. I think you got to keep the clock rolling here.
And indeed, they will keep it on the ground. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a 4th down.
A gain of only a yard. It's 4th down.
So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This will approach NFL record territory. It's a 62-yard attempt. And his kick is indeed good. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And you look back over the score sheet, interesting. A very clean game, no turnovers by either side.
An absolute rarity when we watch games now because defenses have put such an emphasis on taking the ball